I'm going to move apartments. I realize I have so many books. So today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can actually read 100 books. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I am going to tell you the secret of how I read all of these books. Over 100 books in the past 3 years. This video is structured in 3 parts. One is about my journey, how I started and how I reached this point. The second is all the tips I can give it to you to cultivate a new habit. And finally, I will take you to the guide that I will provide it to you. And I hope that you enjoy reading as much as I do. So a lot of times you always hear people say that, oh, I want to read a book, but I don't know how to implement it into my life. I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I just feel like reading is a little bit of like a chore. I feel the same way. At the very beginning when I started 2018, I read nothing. 10, 11 books in 2019, 2020 I have 17, and 2021 I read 37 books. I was super proud of myself. But also at that time, it doesn't really feel like I was trying to chase some kind of number. I just generally enjoy reading books. 2022 is 33 and this year it's around 28 so far. It's mid-December. I don't know whether I can hit my target and my goal, but it doesn't matter because now reading is already part of my life, and I hope and I want you to feel the same way when you finish watching this video after I give you the 6 tips that I summarize for you. You'll be able to do the same, and I hope that can supercharge your reading journey in 2024. And let's get started. I think the most important thing of anything is do what you like and do what you love. Choose a book that you really like to read. Naval Ravikant has this famous quote, read what you love until you love to read. This is so true. One of the first book I start reading is this one. It's called Educated. I just couldn't put it down. I cannot wait to have the time, even if it's just 5 minutes to read it. I'm looking forward to every single time I can just take a book out and read a book. So that's really important. I think most of the people, they see reading books as the same way as like people are assigning you to do something, maybe because it has something to do with our school system and education system. But now, if you're controlling of your own life and routine and you do want to build up this habit, it's the perfect time to find whatever that you like to read. It doesn't matter whether it's fiction, non-fiction, just read, enjoy the process to the point that reading is actually an enjoyable thing to do. The second tip is to lower the friction and make it as easy as you can. Very first video that I did in this channel about reading a book is I almost think it as if it's like a default state. I always have a book around me. I always have access to books. The books are everywhere in my home, and also now, even better, I have a Kindle now. So it's just like as big as your palm and you can take it anywhere. I wouldn't have any excuse to say that, oh, it's actually not easy to carry a book around. Try to pair it with a habit. Sometimes it's very difficult for you to try to like think of reading a book as if you have to reinvent your whole day type of stuff. It's always easier when you pair it together with some other routines that you will do anyways. For example, myself, I always had a cup of coffee in the morning, and that was the time I'm actually looking forward to. I just want to have that 10 or 20 minutes of uninterrupted time so I can continue reading and at the same time, because I'm gonna have my coffee anyways, and it's just the perfect way to start a day. At the end of the workday, because I will be so tired and I won't have any energy, but in the morning, it's the perfect time to start my day. It stimulates me. How do I think about the whole day? I will also put a lot of ideas together. So that's the perfect way. And also I will just pair it with my sleep routine. I usually read 20 minutes before I go to bed, and that's actually kind of perfect for me as well. Use Kindle, and then it's like no blue light. It's also better if I feel very sleepy, I just go to bed. So that's the second thing. I was watching Ali Abdaal's or some other people's video. They say that, oh, you can read multiple books at a time, or you can quit a book. I disagree with that. I think to cultivate your habits, it's the best that you do only read one book at a time. But most important thing is you need to have a really good book to read. If I'm reading a book that I really love, I don't really have any trouble finishing it. Sometimes it's just because if you choose a book that you don't like, then you kind of struggle to finish it. The reason why I said that I don't agree with Ali Abdaal is because at the beginning, if you're trying to cultivate a habit, it's very important that you associate with this positive feedback loop. So if I pick a book, let's say this, Educated, or something else that's kind of like chunky and big, like this one, A Random Walk Down Wall Street. No matter what happened, I want to finish it, because finish the book is also like an accomplishment for myself. I will be able to say to my future self, hey, you have finished one book, you can finish another one. So then it circle back to our first tip: choose a book that you really love, because it's very, very important to have a good book so that you'll be able to finish it. Now that I have this habit of reading books, sometimes now I'm reading 2 books at a time. One is a more serious book like this. It's a memoir by the co-founder of Netflix, and then I will have another more chill book. It's been reading that book for 2 months, but I've been satiated it because I don't want to finish it too soon. Fuchsia Dunlop's Invitation to a Banquet. Super chill. It talks about Chinese cuisine, something that I also really enjoy. I just read it as like a pastime. Like, I'm not trying to learn anything specifically, so it's something like I really enjoy it as if it's like a luxury kind of reading. The fourth thing is gamify the process. A lot of people say that, and my way of gamify the process is, because I only read one book at a time, and sort of I make this commitment to myself, really pick the book the same way that I pick a holiday. So I would do all the research. I would read online reviews, I would ask all my friends, I would like search the internet and say, for example, if Bill Gates is recommending some kind of book, or Ali Abdaal is, or other people that I admire and they usually have very good book recommendations, I will physically go into a bookstore to have a feel about how the book is designed, whether I really want to read it, how I associate of carrying it around. And then now, of course, everything is on Kindle, so I just carry this around. But then still, by reading and seeing the design of the physical book and how it feels in your hand, it's kind of like another way to make it more fun. And then I will start reading this book. So that's something I think really works out for me. For you, maybe you can also try to start a challenge with your friend and say that, hey, how about we all read 10 books a year, and then I will keep you accountable. Next time when we see each other, you tell me one book that you're reading. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and we can also give each other book recommendations here. I hope that can supercharge your book reading journey as well. And then the fifth thing is, don't ever hesitate to buy a book. I like this quote from the author of I Will Teach You How to Be Rich, Ramit Sethi. His famous quote is, if you're thinking about buying a book, just buy it. Don't waste 5 seconds debating it. Even one idea makes it more than worth the price. Think about all of these books. This is £20. This one is by Ray Dalio. All hard copy and like fancy and stuff, and it's packed with knowledge, but it's only $50. Even if it's a book like this, it's not that expensive. All the books in and of itself can always give you more value than the value that you buy it. Sometimes I just play those narratives behind, and whenever I walk past by a bookstore, I find the book is really interesting. Seriously, I would just buy it, even if just like learn something. That's really, really rewarding, and also it creates this environment that you always have a book that you want to read and it's always available for you. And finally, last but not the least, is tell everyone that you love reading. This is the whole idea of identity change. No matter where I go, no matter who I talk to, after 2 or 3 sentences, they will know that I love reading books, because I just cannot stop talking about it. And wherever I go, whenever I walk past by a bookstore or I have some downtime, I'm just like reading a book. It's really a good identity change, being known as somebody who loves books, and I change the whole self-talk about, oh, I have no time, or English is not my first language. People ask me this question, English is not your first language, how do you read so quickly? I don't really read that fast, I just have a really good system. Like, no matter how your day, how difficult it is, you just really need to have these few tips that actually work for you. Once you establish your identity, and then you can build reading a book into your daily life, then sooner or later, one book is around 300 pages. You can read 30 pages a day, just like 10 minutes in the morning, you took 10 pages in the morning, 20 minutes at night, and that would be it. That would be the whole thing you need for 30 pages a day, and after 10 days, you finish a book. Of course, sometimes if you go traveling and something come up in life, you couldn't really commit it to that amount of time, which is also fine. But I really wanted you to get there, and that's why I will prepare a written PDF document, and I will also put a link down below. You can also DM me if you have other ideas and how you want to read more books. If you want to find some accountability, feel free to add me on Goodreads. That's where I will have the latest what kind of books I've been reading, and you can also follow me on Instagram, where I try to have more reviews on the Instagram as well. So don't think, just start. It's 2024. Let's read more books. I'll see you next time.